Welcome to Spainguru. Today we are diving straight into the Spanish digital nomad visa with immigration expert Ainhoa Manero of Sterna Abogados. If you're aiming to work remotely from Spain and have pressing questions about this visa process, you are in the right place. Get ready for a detailed breakdown of the most frequently asked questions, the benefits of this visa, and what you need to know about taxes and income requirements. Let's get started. Ainhoa, can you briefly explain what the Spanish digital nomad visa is and who it's designed for?
So the digital nomad visa is for those people that can work from wherever they want, in this case, Spain. So that people that want to settle in Spain, be in Spain, and can work remotely, because what is important here is that the job that they have, they can do it remotely for clients or for a company outside Spain. So people were coming if they could with a non-lucrative, but in a lot of consulates, because the non-lucrative only can be applied from the consulate, because this is another benefit from the Nomad, that you can apply also from Spain. But with the non-lucrative, people that were working remotely, some could get it in some consulates that they are not so tough, and some they couldn't. Okay, but they put things really difficult with a non-lucrative, and this is the way. If your situation is that you are an employee, or that you are a freelance, or that you have your own company and you can work from Spain remotely, this is your main situation. But this is not everything as good as it seems, because Nomad, the Nomad visa has some problems.
What are the main benefits of obtaining this visa compared to other types of Spanish visas?
Okay, so benefits are one, you can choose to apply from consulate or from Spain, which makes you be able to organize you very well, because you don't depend on an appointment at the consulate. 2, it is granted for 3 years and then renewable for 2, but the first residency is very long already, for 3 years. 3, you can bring your family and your family can work, which is a very good benefit. 4, it is very quick to be resolved. It resolves in 20 days, and that makes you be able to change strategies if it doesn't work, or be able to apply again if a document you miss a document. So this I think there are the 4 main benefits. Family is quickly, you can choose where you apply, and it is granted for a long period of time from the beginning.
Can you outline the key eligibility criteria for this digital nomad visa?
Yes, you have to be working at least for clients or as a freelancer for 3 months, okay, at least. You need to have a 3 years experience, or a degree, a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. You have to be earning around 30,000 euros. I think that will be the 3 main requirements.
All right. How does the application process work, and what documents are typically requested?
So the application process depends if you do it from the consulate or from Spain. Okay, from the consulate, it changes from consulate to consulate. Normally, you have to go to the appointment with the documents. Okay, but in Spain, it's always the same. Wherever you are, doesn't matter. Okay, wherever you are in Spain, and I mean, you do the application online, okay, to the immigration platform, and the documents are criminal records from the places that you have lived in the last 2 years. All the documents that I will tell you that are from the government will have to have the apostille and translation, okay? But the criminal records, in case of the family, if you bring family and marriage certificate of your couple, then your degree or master's degree, this is your case, or 3 years experience. The 3 years experience, whatever you can prove is good. You can prove taxes, you can prove contracts. Sometimes with a resume is enough, okay? Payments. You need to show really not only the contract, which is a main requirement, the contract as a freelance or as an employee with your clients or your company, but also the payment, okay? They will check that you have at least 3 payments, okay, of the average of what they want you to be earning. We said that it is around 30,000 euros per year. So at least around 3 payments of 2,500 euros, more or less. Okay. So, and the document that really there are two documents that really are very difficult for some people to get. One is the articles of incorporation of the company that you work for, because a nomad normally comes because they want. It's not that the company is moving you. Normally, it's because the nomad, it's a personal decision that this nomad wants to come to Spain. So the client sometimes is not really willing to give you, the client or the company, all the documents. And we need the articles of incorporation or a certificate of existence. It's also a possibility, okay? Showing that the client or your company exists or has existed for a year, okay? Mm. That is the most important, that they exist and they've been existing for a year. That is why we need that. Those documents are the ones that are more difficult for some people, okay, to get. So that is also what you need. And there is another document that is becoming impossible to get when you are an employee, and that is why this is very important. The main problem, you can do a separate answer for this if you want. The main problem of the Nomad visa is that if you are an employee, okay, if you're an employee, you need a certificate from Social Security, okay? And the US has said that an employee to work remotely will not get that Social Security certificate. They will not issue to an employee that will work remotely. So immigration asks for your company, the company that you are working for, to register in Spain, which is possible. We can do that, but normally companies don't want to do that, okay? So the main problem about employees is the Social Security certificate. They will not get it from the US in this case. And from other countries, they are making it very difficult because the newest requirements from immigration is that they are asking for the Social Security certificate to specify that you are allowed to work remotely. In the Social Security certificate, which is a government document, that they cannot add whatever Spain wants. This happened. I saw a client from Australia wasn't able to get it because Social Security issued this certificate, Social Security certificate. But Spain wanted that the Social Security from Australia specified that this worker was allowed to get this Social Security certificate to work remotely. And this is impossible to get it, okay? So the only option for employees is that their company that they work for register in Spain. And that is very difficult to convince them.
And this is only in the case for employees. If you're a freelancer,
yes,
you would then just start paying taxes here. If there is a double treaty to avoid double taxation, you will use that treaty. And basically you will become a Spanish worker, let's say.
That is why we do, like we are doing all, lately we are doing all as a freelancer, okay? And normal freelancer or someone that has their own company. And that works perfectly for nomads, okay? Because a freelancer will have to submit the criminal records, family documents if they want the family to come, the payments of their clients, and a commitment to enroll here in Spain as a freelancer, okay? The degree or a master's degree, if they have it, and experience. But that's all. And it works very well for freelancers. What does it mean that they will have to become a freelancer in Spain? It means that they will pay for Social Security in Spain. Normally, they start paying around 60 euros, but they don't need private insurance, okay? That payment for Social Security will also include having public health insurance, which is good.
About this specific point, I heard that it takes some time for the Social Security to process this. It can take even some months. So you have to be careful not to be not covered by something while this is being processed. This is what I heard. Some people recommending even having a health insurance, a private health insurance, even if it's not a requirement. It doesn't have to be full coverage or the most expensive one, but just have something just for those months of processing.
Really, it's because Social Security and the tax office, because those two enrollments that you have to do to be a freelancer, are not easy to deal with, okay? But I do the enrollment for my clients in one day because I do it remotely, okay? So, but you need to know how to do it on everything, because if not, it's true that people spend a lot of time going to Social Security and the tax office because now you are missing this, now you don't have the correct appointment, now, so the Social Security and tax office in Spain is not the easiest, are not the easier offices to deal with.
Ainhoa, are there any tips concerning the obtention and legalization of the required documents?
What you have is to understand really how it is done. You have to see if you are from a country that is in the apostille convention, because that is just only an stamp, or maybe you are in a country where it doesn't belong to the apostille, so you need 3 stamps. Normally is one from the institution that issued that document, the other one is from the Ministry of Affairs of that country, and the last one is at the Spanish consulate at that country. Okay, but mainly what I see is that people don't understand and they get mixed, and what it happens is that they don't have it on time, because it's not difficult to get the stamps. It is really knowing how and for what document.
We've seen concerns about tax implications. Can you clarify the tax rates and residency status for digital nomads?
Yes. So first, I want to clarify, I'm not a tax advisor, okay? I'm very specialized in immigration, and this is like doctors, okay? Everyone has a specialization. But it's true that I'm always in the meetings with a tax advisor, because it's important. Always immigration and taxes go a little bit together. So what I can explain you. Something that is important for nomads, they want the Beckham law, okay? What we call in Spain Beckham law. The Beckham law is a law in which tax law
or special tax regime, right?
Yes, a tax regime, exactly, that you are able to have a flat rate of 24% only of the income that you get from Spain, okay? So up to 600,000 euros of your income. So this sounds very interesting to a lot of people. The problem is that if you read the tax law for nomads, is everything drafted as employees, okay? A nomad as an employee. And as I explained before, the problem is that we are not being able to get a lot of employees as nomads because of the Social Security certificate. So normally we bring nomads as freelancers because it's very difficult to get the Social Security certificate. But if you read the tax law, okay, for when they explain the requirements for this to be applicable for the nomad, it's explained for a nomad which is an employee. And that is really a main problem, and where strategy comes. It's not that it's impossible, because maybe you can get the nomad and be able to get the Beckham, because in addition to be a nomad, you meet some other requirements, some other situations in which Beckham is also applicable. Okay, so they say Beckham is applicable for employees as nomads, for administrator of a company, for employees, for a lot of situations. So maybe you can be a nomad as a freelancer, and in addition, you can also meet some other situations in which Beckham is applicable. But that is why it's so important to do well the strategy. But it's not automatic that Beckham law is better for you, okay? We have calculated a little bit that this will be that if you are earning more than 60,000 euros per year. Yeah. Normally, it's going to be always better, the Beckham law. But if you're earning 40,000, okay, 45,000, maybe it's better to be taxed in Spain without the Beckham law, because you have some other benefits, that like being able to put expenses and some other benefits that you can get from a normal tax regime that you cannot get from the Beckham. So please don't get only the option of Beckham, especially if you don't earn above 60,000 euros per year.
Yes, the Beckham tax regime has pros and cons. One pro is the 20% flat rate, which makes a lot of sense, but it also comes with some cons, as you say. So you have to really balance and understand your situation with an experienced tax advisor that can, tell you the different scenarios. And as you said, if you earn between 30K, which is the minimum threshold for applying for this visa, and 60K, it's probably better just to pay taxes normally without being, under this special regime.
Exactly.
Is there a minimum income requirement, and does it vary depending on where we apply from?
No, it doesn't vary. Okay. So the minimum requirement, I always say 30,000, but you can get it for 27,000. Okay. So the more you lower a little bit from the 30,000, the more savings you need to show. Okay. And they try they try to get the balance, but it's going to be the same for the whole country and for all the consulates, because everything goes to be resolved in an office in Madrid called UGE, Unión de Grandes Empresas.
If I am below the minimum income threshold, can I use savings, and how much can I use?
I've only been in the situation in which I showed 27 and I was okay. Nomads are really being, they are being very tough. Okay, if you see, there were a lot of approvals in the beginning, and now every day they put more requirements, more difficult. I wouldn't accept a case that you earn less than 27,000. Of course, there is nothing but to try and get a denial. It's not that you can you cannot try again, okay? But
yeah.
Really, I think that less than 27 is going to be something that difficult to get.
Can only the income from one spouse be used to qualify for the digital nomad visa? Is it true that only one family member is the one that has to provide the minimum income threshold for the digital nomad visa?
Yes, because this works this way. The main applicant is the one that has to meet the requirements, okay? And then the family members come as family members. So you can show savings for the family members. That is no problem. But to meet the requirements of earning a minimum money, you have to earn it, you as a professional, just one of you, okay? If there are savings to show that you can support your family because you are bringing family, that is perfect.
There's a couple and each of them make 2,000 euros per month, just below the threshold of 2,600.
No, that doesn't work.
That doesn't work. It has to be only one spouse that is over this threshold or close to it.
Yes.
And supply savings if necessary.
Yes.
All right. Is it better to apply from Spain or from a consulate?
In my opinion, always from Spain. Why? First of all, because from the consulate you get just 1 year. From Spain you get 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, because consulate, always you are depending on appointment. Here, you can do it whenever you are ready to do it. Of course, in the 90 days as a tourist, you can do it because it's online. Whenever you are ready, you do the application.
Mm-hmm.
And third of all, because even that the consulate shouldn't resolve, just should get the documents and send them to the office here in Spain, they don't do that. They always put problems with the documents that you are submitting. They say that you don't need whatever, so you don't submit it, and then the application is not complete, or the other way around. They ask for more things that you don't have them because you don't need it, and then they don't accept you the application. So consulates nowadays, in my experience, if you can, you should avoid them.
If you apply from Spain, the maximum you can obtain this residence for is 3 years. But I understand there are conditions also to get this maximum time, right? Not everyone gets 3 years.
Well, this was more because for the employees, really, if you show as an employee your contract for 1 year, then they give it to you for 1 year.
Right.
But in reality, we are not doing employees because what I explained you. So for the freelance, they are giving it to for everyone for 3 years.
What kind of proof of income is accepted, especially for freelancers and entrepreneurs? I heard that there are people who have had problems receiving their payments in PayPal or Payoneer instead in their bank accounts. What happens to that?
Well, this is a very good question because we've been appealing cases and winning them. Because, for example, what they just, it seems they understand correct, are bank movements, okay? Bank statements showing that the client pays you. But I had a case in which the freelancer was getting paid by PayPal, which is something very common, or any other platforms are common, and they were not accepting them. And we have one already to appeal with that one. That was our case. Another one that really came to us when they got a denial because they were paying by some other platform. So if you can, try to do it through bank, but if not, this is your right, okay? It's not in the law that should be by bank transfer. And the 2 cases that we have won them. So we try to avoid problems, and if you have the bank, perfect, but if not, they should accept whatever method of payment you've been accepting.
How long does the visa process usually take from application to approval?
20 days. So the law says that they must result in 20 days, 20 labor days, okay? They cannot spend more time. That is why, and especially was in the beginning, a lot of people have what is called positive silence. That is an approval, but not because the documents are correct. It's because immigration didn't have time to check in 20 days the application, and they should approve it. And that is a little problem when the applicant doesn't understand that happened, because they give they tell to a friend how they did it, and sometimes to a friend doesn't work. And this is because they didn't accept your documents because they were correct. They accepted because they didn't have time to resolve and check them, and then it should be an approval, which is good, huh?
It's a positive silencio administrativo or administrative
positive silence, yes.
Are there any restrictions on the types of work one can do while on a digital nomad visa?
So yes, there is a limitation, which is that there is a maximum of a 20% of your income that can come from Spain, because this is mainly designed to work for outside Spain, okay? So you can have clients from Spain, but with a limit of 20% of your income. Of course, you can play with this, because if you want to get more income from Spain, you just have to also get more income from outside, okay? So because it's not a quantity, it's a percentage. So it's easy, a little easier to play with.
What happens if someone's work situation changes while they're on this visa, also known as losing your job or your clients?
Yeah, we don't know yet. We have to see that. So there is no clarification on that. Of course, the main requirement I think always is notifying. Okay, I know that people are afraid to notify because then immigration immediately knows this, but they always give you more chances to resolve the situation when you notify the situation. Okay, so we don't really know. We are waiting for instructions. What I would do is notifying and doing another application with the new, especially not as a freelancer, because as a freelancer it's easier to chase clients, okay? But if you are as an employee, because we have a lot of employees from the beginning when they didn't have this problem. So if you are an employee, what I would do is do a new application with the notification that it finishes the other contract and submitting again the new requirements.
Are there any restrictions on the types of work one can do while on a digital nomad visa?
The main requirement is that the work that you should do should be done. You should be able to do it remotely in a digital way. Okay, so everything that could be done like that, and that you express it in the contract, that is important, is acceptable. Okay, any other things that takes you to go somewhere and do physically something, or meetings, but not virtual meetings, so first visiting someone in person, things like that, are not allowed. Okay.
I had the case of an artist who was making sculptures for clients outside of Spain. Is that considered digital?
I don't think so. I don't think it will be acceptable. It can be tried, as I said. Nothing is really defined. Okay, so when you try, knowing that there is a chance that maybe they don't accept it, do it. Just because there is nothing wrong. The fee that you pay is very little, 75 euros. So do it. But I don't think that would be something acceptable. But for example, what would be acceptable? A doctor that is in a surgery, but looking from online what is happening and doing indications.
Ainhoa, can you explain the process and timeline for renewing the digital nomad visa?
Like any other permit, okay, it can be done from 2 months before to 3 after. The application is the same, it's online, okay. You are going to need to show that you still maintain the same requirements, okay, or that if they change, that you notify that we're changing, okay? That is important. It will be resolved in 20 days again, and now they will give you 2 years. So the first time is 3 years, all the others are for 2 years.